So I'm very excited about today's guest because I haven't actually gotten to meet you in this way. We haven't really been able to interact very much, but I have admired you from afar. So this is Jen from Thrift to Travel on Instagram. Jen, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Becky.
Oh my goodness. So this is how I want to start, okay? I think out of everyone that I'm interviewing as part of this reseller interview series, I think you and I are definitely the most different from everyone in that you sell very different things than I do. And I think your reselling business is also just very different from mine. So you explain for all of us first how you would describe your reselling business, and then I'll tell you how it looks to me. I'll tell you how I would explain it to other people, but I want to hear your version first.
Okay, so I basically don't sell very many clothes. I'm not really a clothes seller, but I do love selling beauty products. So I'm lucky here in Washington State where there's beauty products in all the thrift stores. There's like wall of beauty products, bags, and so that's what I'm accustomed to selling and enjoy selling. And then I also look for discontinued products. So a lot of times I go into locally owned pharmacies and grocery stores and hardware stores like Ace Hardware, for example, and find products that are no longer being manufactured, and then I sell those for um, a little profit. So yeah, so that's kind of my selling journey right there. What I'd like to do.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
think you and I would describe it pretty similarly. So the version that you're putting out there on
Yeah.
Instagram is very it is accurate. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think so for those of you who don't know, and if you are not following Jen on Instagram, again, it's Thrift to Travel, right? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
You guys need to follow her because she will put up reels or just posts about the different things that she has purchased and then sold, and they're crazy. Like, just some of my favorites that come to mind. I think you had talked about selling you like floss. I think you had
Oh yeah.
sold
Yeah. Yeah.
floss.
For some reason
um,
I've been finding it. Like it's just been coming to me. So it's been great.
it's crazy. Yeah, like floss. You sold. I think you found, and like you said, a lot of it is dependent on where you are and where you source.
Right.
And where in Washington are you?
We're in the like right next to Canada, right next to the border.
Wow. Okay. So like where I live, at least I don't think they do. I don't think they have that much cosmetics, and they don't have like bags of but like you had found this bag of like used perfumes, and you knew that like the Aeropostale one was gonna, like,
Yeah.
you're out here selling used perfume and, like you said, discontinued products. It's stuff that literally other people would look at and say this is garbage, but you see the value in it and you make some really good money selling that stuff. So I would say, especially if any of you are about to do a deep clean of your home, if you're purging, wait, go visit Jen's Instagram first and make sure you're not throwing away hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of stuff, because it's really amazing. So like you said, you don't really sell that much clothes, although I saw too on your Instagram you have sold some for really good money. But you really do, it seems like, prefer to sell hard goods, like you said, cosmetics, discontinued products. What is
Right.
it that you enjoy about selling hard goods over clothing?
I think well, it just seems like the products are smaller and it's easier to photograph. So I can
Hmm.
pop out a bunch of photos real quick. I do use the photo room app, and so makes the background completely white. And they're just little small, and storage too. So inventory. We live in a condo, so I don't have that much storage. So it's perfect. You have these like little jars of cream, or like you said, bottles of perfume, and it's just easy to store, put in a bin, and you don't have, with clothing, like, and I do have some clothing, but it just accumulates so fast, and it's
Yeah.
so for my lifestyle and how we are here, it's just easier for me to do like little things and whatnot. So
That's amazing. So yeah, like you said too, one of the things that you seem to specialize in selling is discontinued products or products that are no longer manufactured. How did you even stumble upon this fact that this is a thing that you can make money off of. And how do you learn about those products? Because it's not like you only know about like, oh, there's this one Swiffer thing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you need to know about all of them. How do
Right.
you acquire your knowledge?
So it actually started when I was started. It all became because I was going to the thrift stores and learning about different products, hard goods that I didn't even know anything about or even gave a second glance to ever. And so when I started thrifting, I realized, oh my gosh, people are paying up for these things that they can't find anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe I can take it to the next level and I can physically go out to these stores and find it for them and find it in new condition. And it just evolved from there and it just erupted. And then I just going all over the world looking for these products that are no longer made, and it's just been crazy, and then sharing that with other people so they can do the same thing, because like I'm a one woman show, so I know that there's stuff like in rural Minnesota that someone could pop into a pharmacy or a grocery store and start making money instantly, and I want people to
Mm-hmm.
be aware of that because it's such a good resource for people if you need some extra cash or you for whatever reason. So I'm just trying to spread the word as much as I can for people that don't have knowledge about this. And so,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
that's amazing. And what platforms do you resell on?
so I'm currently on Amazon, eBay. I just sold something today on Poshmark, Macari, and I also sell on platforms that no one really talks about too much, Bonanza and Together.
So you're selling people things that they love, but they can't buy it the traditional way anymore. You know, they can't buy it at Target or whatever. What I imagine you must have so many stories like feedback or love notes or, of people just thinking like what's like the best memory you have of someone receiving something that you sold them and, you know.
Good question. There's so many. I think I don't know. There's it especially with eBay, like people always go to eBay to find that one little unique thing and then they share their stories. I know I love it when others resellers on Instagram will share that they got this note from somebody saying, "Oh my God, I'm so happy you had this." And
Mhm.
yeah, um, yeah, I've gotten several. I just can't think of
There's too
my
many for you. There's too many to like pull one down from
yeah,
your memory. Yeah, and I imagine that's gotta be it's gotta make your day and it probably happens pretty frequently because of the nature of what you're selling, and that's gotta be really cool. It's gotta make you feel good about yourself. I primarily sell clothes, but I sold someone a jacket and they were so excited because I guess their partner had this jacket and they just wore it into the ground and
oh,
it was functional, so they were able to find the same thing.
yeah,
And even just something like that, someone getting excited over, but
yeah,
people do get weirdly attached to their cleaning products or to like their skincare products.
yeah. Yeah. Some people have a just an odd obsession about certain things that they don't want to, they don't like the formula change or the package
Yeah.
change, and they don't want anything to change with their favorite product. That's for sure.
I would guess that the hard side of that then for you is they probably always come back like, do you have any more of this? It's like, but you already bought out my stock. Like, I'm not making these in my house. Like, so that's probably a little bit difficult on the other side of things. So I remember I saw one of your reels and I don't remember where you were, but you said something along the lines of, I knew to check the comps on this thing. And the reason you knew to check comps was because there was like a layer of dust on it. And I think
Oh
it was like a men's deodorant.
yeah,
And I was like, that's a brilliant tip. And I mean, already you've shared other tips too, things like, go these kind of maybe like family run pharmacy stores, places like Ace Hardware, places where like they're not going to have as many regulations on like switching out what's on the shelves and things of that nature. What other tips do you have for people if they're just kind of wanting to sell the same kind of stuff that you do? What other tips can you share on how to find some of these products?
well, I say start with like local. I always do. So I like to fly around a lot and hit up like we were in Minnesota a couple months ago, and I've never been to Minnesota before, but I did a Google search of locally owned pharmacies. And so I just marked off, I'm not going to Walgreens, I'm not going to
Mhm.
Rite Aid. I hit all like the family owned, like you said, little mom and pop shops, and they have nothing moves. I mean, they don't out like they want to sell it for the price that's been sitting on the shelf forever.
Uh-huh.
They really can't afford to get the new stuff in. They have to sell what they have first, and so I would just start by doing a Google search and looking at for those type of pharmacies. Same with,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, hardware stores and grocery stores. Just stay away from the non-chain, and just
Mm-hmm.
or the little place right down the street, or they're always, yeah, the best.
That makes me so sad because one local pharmacy in my area like closed down not too long ago, but I didn't know these things then. And I wish I had like
Yeah.
gone and raided their inventory because I bet there would have been some treasures. But I
Oh,
think most people they see the dust and they see like the oldness of things and they're like, ew, but you see it and you're like, this is treasure.
absolutely, yes. I always say look for the dust, and then when
Mhm.
I a little bit of sourcing in the Caribbean, and then when you're in the Caribbean, you always look for rust because things have been sitting so long on the shelf that they tend to rust, like the
Wow.
shaving cream cans and things. So yeah, so I think, yeah, you can't go wrong with those two.
Rust and dust, and they
Rust,
rhyme, so it's easy to
yeah,
remember. So
yeah.
when we're talking about product that is that old, do you like what is your take on expired things? And I know some of those things don't necessarily expire. I don't know if they have like, but um, what do people have to take into consideration when it comes to age of items?
So I with the expired, I will list my expired products on Macari and Facebook. Um, and it just really depends. I mean, I like to stay within that year of something being expired. Everybody has their own take on what they're comfortable with. That's what I'm comfortable with. So, like, I just sold something that was expired 5 months ago, and no issues with that person. They didn't have any issues buying it because it was expired.
Mhm.
So it just varies. Every reseller is just kind of different what they think. That's I just like to stay within the year typically. So
Yeah. You just disclose it in the description, you take a picture of the expiration date, you just make sure you have all of your bases covered. And kind of with that, you were saying, yeah, if it's anything like that, I'd list it on Mercari. So not only do you seem to know these are some cool things to sell, but you also know like what platforms will let you list those things. What are some of the things people need to be careful of?
so definitely you don't want to list anything expired on eBay. They're really coming down on resellers for that, especially with the whole when COVID happened. There was a lot
Mhm.
that happened on eBay, unfortunately. Or I don't know. For me, it was unfortunate, but like you can't sell used perfume anymore on eBay, and before you could, and there's a huge market for it.
Mhm.
When something's discontinued, people can't find it anymore. They will take half of what you got in that perfume bottle because they love it so much. They don't
Mhm.
care. So no more used products on eBay as way as cosmetics, and no more expired on eBay. Macari is an excellent platform to sell used products, cosmetics, and perfumes. No issues whatsoever. And they have a great return policy. So if someone says, hey, I don't like the way this smells, well,
Mhm.
return it. And you always want to be careful. You want to, if you're selling a used perfume, you want to do a little, I call it, the smell test and make sure that it's, not rancid. So,
Can perfume go rancid?
well, I don't know. And then it's always like I pick up these perfume cologne things that they from like the 70s that people just love that this certain smell, and
Yeah.
I cannot stand it. So I don't know. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Everybody
Mhm.
has their own preference or what they enjoy smelling or smelling like.
I have found as I get older, I can't handle uh any sort of like perfume or spray. Like it like gives me asthma attacks almost. I feel like I teach high school and kids
Uh,
will like spray like that pink, like that kind of stuff all over them. And I really will just like start having difficulty. And I'm like, listen, I don't care like what you're wearing, what scent, but you got to put it on outside my room. Like I just can't anymore. So I feel like I can't get into the perfume selling business because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to like test the stuff. I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
smell it to make sure it's okay. I mean, there's a huge market out there for that, which you've proven on your Instagram. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's because I think people correlate good memories, good time, certain people, or with a scent, or
Yeah,
so.
for
Yeah,
sure. So of like all of the things that you sell, what is your favorite type of thing to resell?
cosmetics for sure.
And why is that?
I don't know. I just love it. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I just love learning about new products and seeing what people love, and it's just all so fascinating to me. Probably because I don't wear any cosmetics. I
That
don't
was
wear.
going to be my next question. Like, are you super into makeup and all, but you're not even.
No,
You just
I'm not at all. So maybe that's, I don't know, but I'm just so fascinated that people, yeah, what they'll pay for stuff for,
yeah.
yeah, for being part of their beauty routine and stuff.
This is
Yeah.
such a weird question, but have you ever worked as like a cashier at any sort of retail store or even like at the grocery store?
I worked at a thrift store right out of high school, and that's about it. All the stuff that we would get in, and thinking about it now, what it's worth, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
No, I feel like you would really enjoy even just working the cash register at like a grocery store just to see what people buy. Like that's what I'm learning about you is like it's not even like, oh, I love this product and it brings me joy to like sell it to someone else. It's more like learning about how people function and like think and what they'll spend their money on, like you said. And you learn that through listing these things online and seeing what they're going to buy it for. That's fascinating. What would you say has been your weirdest flip to date?
Oh, so when I first started selling on eBay, I didn't really know that much, and um, I was selling these Tom shoes, and I said some code word in the title that I didn't know was a code word for people that have foot fetishes. Uh, yeah, and so and so the guy's like, I'm gonna buy you these shoes, but I'm gonna also PayPal you extra money if you will wear them, you know, without socks and da 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 da. And he gave me, and then like thought about it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I did it, and then and he sent me the money. He got him, and then he's like, yes, great. And so he sent me all this extra money via PayPal. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, that wasn't probably a great idea, because now he has my address, which I didn't even think about.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that one time, and I'm like, okay, I'm never doing that again. So
Did anything ever happen? Was there ever a weirdo just like
I live in Washington. He lived in Florida. So I'm like, okay, well, I might be safe, but moving forward, I'm not going to do
that?
that.
That
Yeah.
is funny. I've always wondered like how and sometimes I take it to like some degree just to kind of like see what happens. But I've always wondered like what happens at the end of this if I really do the things that this person is asking, like what
Yeah.
is going to happen? And you
Yeah.
actually followed through and found
Yeah.
out and you got paid and oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if things ever start looking really bad for you,
I know.
that could be the side hustle to your side hustle.
Apps. I don't even know if you have to do that anymore. What's that app that you can sell foot pics?
No, really? I didn't even know that.
So there's always that.
I don't know if this was like allowed, but like if you're willing to share that code word so we know not to put it in our
What was the code word? It was just so, gosh, it was so long ago. I started selling in eBay. When did I start? 2009. So yeah, it was a long time ago.
maybe we'll have to do some research on our own.
For sure. And then he told me, he's like, he's like, you probably didn't even realize you used the code word. I'm like, no, dude, I did not realize I
Yeah.
was. Yeah, this was like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So there are people out there who are just typing in this word, hoping that people are making a silent agreement that, hey, like, that is weird. When you started off by saying Tom's, I was like, that's not that weird, Jen. Like, that's pretty normal. But
Yeah.
then It got weird real fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't deal with a lot of hard goods, and it's interesting because I don't deal with a lot of hard goods for the same reason that you said you don't deal with clothing. I feel like hard goods are hard to store, like because they're all different, like
Oh,
shapes and
right.
sizes, and some things are very breakable. But what does it look like for you as far as sourcing? Do you have like a sourcing schedule? Do you have like a set number of items that you try to get listed a week? Can you talk to us just about your process a little bit?
Yeah. So I work, well, now I work Monday through Thursday. I was, before COVID, I was working 5 days a week, just 40 hours a week. So now I have Fridays off, which are so nice. So I try to go sourcing on Fridays and Saturdays are my two sourcing days. And then with like the hard goods, the cleaning products and stuff, usually I ship all those go to Amazon. So I don't
Mm,
that kind of stuff on eBay just because shipping is can be problematic with that. And so I just send
mhm,
Amazon, do all the shipping to the customers and handle all the customer service, which is really great. Um, so yeah, just 2 days a week typically. And I don't have, and I tried to list on Sundays. So
mhm.
Sundays, my listing day after everything that I bought on Friday and Saturday, I saved for to do all the photographing and stuff for Sunday. So yeah, so just I guess 3 days a week. I mean, we only have two thrift stores here that are really good that um, I go to, but a lot of times we will get in the car and head south down to like Seattle area and hit up all the thrift stores. There's so many thrift stores in Washington. It's crazy on this side, on the west side. So I would say Seattle has the best thrift stores. I think from where I've been, I heard Dallas was good. Houston, I heard they had really good thrift stores too. But yeah, we're lucky here in the Pacific Northwest in that
You guys
regard.
really are.
Yeah,
Do you ever go to like the bins?
I do once in a while, but you have to have be in a certain mindset for that.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the percentage of stuff that you sell yourself on eBay, and then compared to the percentage of stuff that you're sending in for Amazon FBA?
So Amazon is a ton of stuff, tons. Yeah. So I think right now I have 130 listings on eBay across all platforms. Macari, they're all like I cross list, so
Mhm.
30 active items across all those platforms. And then Amazon, I just try to send in a few boxes a week full of stuff because you can't feed that beast fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it seems like. And kudos to you for doing Amazon. I tried it for maybe like half a year. I didn't really enjoy it, but I think a lot of that was because I didn't enjoy finding those kinds of things, and I didn't even bother trying to get ungated, in the categories that maybe I would have found more enjoyable. But
Right.
for you, it seems like, again, it's kind of the thrill of, oh my gosh, I found, you know, this product that's been discontinued and it can sell on Amazon for a really good amount. And that's different. So it's good that you enjoy it, but someone else gets to do the work for you.
Yeah, so that's a bit huge plus. They will do the work for you. So in regards to customer service and shipping,
That is wonderful. I need an Amazon for the kinds of stuff that I like to
yeah,
sell. I need to find that person. I had a question in my head. And what I was going to ask is, do you list everything that you find on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, or are you in the habit of accumulating a diff pile, or are you really good about listing everything?
I try to get everything listed on Sunday. So, because during the week I have not able to do any photographing. I get home and it's dark and I'm tired.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
so I really focus. Like Sundays, I go to Trader Joe's in the morning. I go to Starbucks, and then I come home, and then I don't leave the house. So, and then I just get that listing done.
Yeah. But it seems very much like you've found a system and a schedule that works for you, and if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? So if that brings you success, amazing. So where are some of your favorite places to source? I know we've covered thrift stores. I know we've covered um like mom and pop pharmacy stores. I feel like I've seen too, you've gone to like estate sales, and like where else can you find some of these treasures?
So estate sales are huge. I love estate sales. And I always go for the bathroom and the like the garage and laundry room looking for discontinued cleaning products and stuff. So and then consignment shops here where I live, they sell cosmetics and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's been a huge sourcing spot for me. Yeah, the ladies try a palette and they're like, oh, this isn't really, I don't really like it or whatever. And so the consignment shop will sell it even in used condition. So,
Mhm.
so the prices are always good when it comes to that. And then I just list that kind of stuff on Macari.
And again, I want to encourage you guys, if you are not following Jen, it's just, it's the kind of thing, the kind of content that you create. It seems so common sense that you kind of like hit yourself over the head after, we watch one of your reels or something like, why
Yeah.
didn't I know that already? Like, why haven't I been doing this? Like, duh, and even for like your average person who is not a reseller, for them to see like, I didn't like that that palette, but like, why did I throw it away? Or why did I could have made some good money off of it. I think it's really valuable even to everyday people who are not in the reselling game, but just, man, we don't need to waste so much as a country. Like, those things can go to other people who would still pay good money for it. It's very fascinating what you have learned and what you're teaching people. I guess I just have two more questions for you. So I asked you about your weirdest flip. So to kind of flip it to something that's a little bit more pleasant, what do you think was your greatest flip ever?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think I have two recent ones. I sold this Ray Dunn, um,
Yep,
and
I saw that.
yeah, this little handmade picture. So she used to have a studio in California before she got big and mainstream into Marshalls and all that kind of stuff. And so she was just selling. I think she might have had her own website at one point. I
Mm.
don't. So anyway, I paid 50 cents for it. I had no idea it would be even worth anything at all. And so I just put it up on eBay as an auction. It started at $20, $5 shipping. And people went nuts. I was getting like, sell it to me right now for this $900. And I'm like, geez, I just listed it today. I'm going to let this thing ride. And so it ended up selling for $3,800. The lady, she was from California. She paid straight away, no issues. She never left me positive feedback, but she never reached out and said anything bad. So it was a win-win. And then I would say, was it maybe a year later, I get a DM on Instagram and somebody found something similar in Portland at a Goodwill. And she was just so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I found one. And I don't remember how much I think she sold it for 1,000. Hers was a little bit different than mine, but she was still happy. She sold it for 1,000. So yeah, they're still out there. There's some out there.
You paid 50 cents for where?
Just like it was during my lunch break, and there's a thrift store near where I work, and it's only open like 2 days a week. And so I usually pop in there on those 2 days, and yeah, just a little thrift store in the middle of nowhere in a rural town.
So 50 cents into $3,800. That's going to be a hard one to beat.
Yeah.
You've set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
Did you say you had two, or was the second
Yeah.
one the fact that someone else?
And then I just had one I sold a Halloween mask for over $1,000 that I got at a rummage sale, third day of a rummage sale, just sitting there. And I, maybe paid 50 cents and it sold for 1,100. It's one of those scream masks, and
Yeah.
yeah, and there's different ones that are worth money. Yeah, so I just got lucky.
Especially, like you said, that being the third day. And I think a lot of people think to themselves, it's not even worth going on the third day.
Yeah.
But you found an $1,100
Yeah.
item.
And I always, those are the best days to go because everything's been picked through. You can see things. Like the first tables are just heaped high and there's so many people. But yeah.
I mean, you really have a gift for finding treasure in the most unlikely places and in the most unlikely circumstances, like you basically are telling everyone the opposite of what everyone else tells them to do, which is like, you got to be the first one there. You know, when you go to an estate sale, like you go to that
Yeah.
kitchen, you go to, and you're like, go to the bathrooms, like look under the cabinets, saying, oh my goodness, amazing. So what does the future look like for you? That's my last question. What are your goals for the year? Do you have plans on scaling this thing, or is it just really, because I know you have a full-time job, so is it just something that you want to continue to do for fun on the side?
Yeah, it's really, I'm trying to get my mortgage paid off. So I've focused on that right now. So all my reselling extra cash is going into that. And then hoping to retire and do this when I'm retired because it keeps my mind busy, it keeps my body going. And, when you retire, you're going to need some extra cash. So
Mhm.
yeah, do this until I guess I can't drive anymore. So that's my goal. And I like where I'm at wise. I think sometimes I get overwhelmed right now and I will make a silly mistake. And so I don't think I should scale any higher than I am right now. Just keep it pretty even.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think something really important that comes out of what you just shared, we have to know what we can handle. And even you saying, listen, I live in this condo, I have the space that I have. That's why I'm going to source the things that I source. And I think that's great and it's smart so that you're in a place where this continues to be enjoyable versus this thing that was supposed to be fun is now stressing you out all the long. If you show a lot of wisdom and common sense there, that I think a lot of us can learn from. So that's awesome. Well, I think that is everything I wanted to ask you. Like I said, I've been like observing you from afar through your Instagram. That sounds kind of creepy, but like I've been like just seeing the amazing things that you buy and okay, not amazing, the everyday normal things that you
Right.
buy. And I knew I had to have you here. So thank you so much for coming on and just sharing your expertise with us because holy cow, this was so cool.
Yeah.
So we can find you at Thrift to Travel on Instagram. Is there anywhere else that you have a presence?
I post a little bit on TikTok, but Instagram is where I post 100% of my content. And it's a great community over there, a great reselling community. So
It really is. It really is. And we're thankful to have people like you who share so openly and freely because you don't have to. Like, you don't really have anything to gain
yeah.
out of it. But like you said, you just want to share with other people how they can better their lives. And that's really nice of you to do, really amazing. So well, thanks for being here, Jen. And again, if you guys are not following her on Instagram, you're really missing out. So like that's what you should do right now. Go look for her. You can look for her on TikTok, but it looks like everything for the most part is going to be on Instagram. Thank you for being here and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.